Hello, this week I'm getting to one of them jobs that I've been leaving for ages, and it will kind of tie in with all the other projects I've got on the go, really. Um, I don't think I need to explain it too much, you can see it right in front of you. But basically, what it is, some time back, I was looking for, like an edge for my table that I can take on and take off. And I never quite saw, one of these, what are the Gauge Master Scenics that was right, for the kind of battle scenes that I wanted. And then I came across this one, which is an open field, and it's like a three-piece, panoramic shot. This is just the first of them. Anyway, what I've decided to do, I know people that have been watching me for a while, you'll remember when I lived in Leicestershire, I used to use an old dining table and I had some big black foam, like table bases really, that I could put on it when I was playing games. And I shaped it so that it'd sit tightly on the edge of the table. Well, obviously, now that I've moved in here and I'm using these white tables, they've been redundant. But I had something in mind for them, and that was this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some pieces of that black foam to the same size as these. Now, originally I came up with all kinds of fancy ideas. I was going to put it on some MDF, thin MDF, and then find a way of like screwing it to the edge of the table. But then I come up with the idea that, it might be that I could use the individual bits as a bit of scenery if I'm doing any shots of some work that I've done. So I thought, well, I don't want it to be so permanent. And then obviously I'd got in mind to use these black sheets of foam. And again, I still thought, about putting like an MDF post on the back of each one of them, so that I could use that to clip to the table. But instead, I think I'm going to go for a far simpler option, and that goes really back to my trying to keep everything so it can be packed away easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the foams to shape. I'm going to use this, hopefully it'll be okay, spray adhesive. It says it's ideal for card and paper. I'm going to test it on that foam first, just in case it reacts on a bit of scrap. And then I can stick those on and just leave them as they are. And then I can find a way of, like temporarily adding them to the edge of the table when I need them. But also I'll be able to use them as little sections for any photo work that I want to do. Right, well, that's, a lot of preamble, so let's get straight to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the sheets. I'll take a few photos because it's going to be hard to film that at the same time as cutting it. And then when I've got the boards to shape and I've sanded the edges down a bit, I'll bring you back. Right, so I've cut the first one to the size of the poster. And here's one of the original boards. And I'm just laying it on top to cut round it now. So just drawing up my lines because I want to make sure they're all exactly the same. And then just slow and steady cuts with a knife. And then finally sanding it down so they're all smooth edged. Right, so I've took that outside and given it a good spray. Now I'm going to see if I can get it on. Now this is the important bit, because obviously if I get this wrong and I go out of line, so you'll have to forgive me if I fiddle around a little bit. I did think, you know, you could maybe use PVA, but at the end of the day it's going to take a lot of knocking around, so I really wanted to make sure that this was going to be, you know, as firm as possible. Right, so that's like the first board done. As you can see, I've got a little bit of an overlap here. That's because they're not completely identical, so I've had to make them all, you know, long enough to make sure that they'll fit. But all I'll do is once it's set and dried, I'll cut off any bits that are not got the photo on, so that they can come close together and keep the photo in order. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave that and I'll find something to weight it down with, providing it's grabbed the vast majority of it. I'll be happy with that. As I say, I will be careful with them. They will take a bit of knocking, but the photo's good quality. The paper that it's printed on is good quality as well, if you do look into getting one of these. So I think the main thing is to sort of smooth it out a little bit. I think if I'd got any, what's that other spray that I use? The, can't remember its name now, but that's a lot smoother to spray on, because obviously what you are going to see is little bits of ridges, but I'm hoping most of them will settle down, and you only catch them in the light anyway, as you can see. So, but they're going to be really useful when they're done. So let me go and get the other two to the same stage, and then I'll show them you. Right, back in a minute. Do you ever have one of them feelings that you should stick to what you're doing, but you decide to do it a different way, and once you get it in your head, you do it? Well, I've had that. I used spray glue on the last one, as you know, but I thought, no, I really want to see if Mod Podge works. So I've got some Mod Podge matte that I've always got in stock, whereas the other one I don't often have. So I'm going to give it a go. Whether I end up regretting it, we will soon see. Because the good thing about that other one, it's tacky and it grabs it straight away. You know, well, here comes the moment of truth. Wish me luck. One thing for sure, it's going to need weighting down, I think. Something to use the iPhone for. initial feeling is that, as I said, the tackiness of the other one gives you more confidence straight away because it grabs it. This doesn't. Right, so as you can see, I'm going to have to hold it down. I've put it down, I've left it at the bottom now to dry out with the other one. You would think my experimenting would be done, but no. I've decided I must see if I could have done it with good old PVA. So that's what I've done now. I've spread out some PVA and I'm going to see if that holds it. At the minute I'm still thinking the spray tacky glue was the best, but I guess we'll only really tell once I get it in place. This is going down better than the Mod Podge did, but then I suppose PVA, Mod Podge, they're very similar, but I've only brushed it on in the same way and it does seem to be going down a lot smoother and holding in place despite the fact that I've not weighted it yet. Right, I'll just give you a quick look. It seems to have gone down really flat, really well. The proof's going to be in the pudding obviously, but for that it needs drying time. So I'm going to leave these to dry. It's getting late in the day now, so I might leave them to dry overnight actually. And then I'll bring you back and we'll have a look at them. So as you can see, they've all dried now. I think the on the whole, the spray glue was definitely the best as regards getting a flatter finish. But on the whole, I'm pretty pleased with them all. Anyway, the final thing to show you is actually putting one in place. And all I'm going to do, for speed's sake, and so I can adapt it, is to use some of my clamps. So let me just clamp one of these on and then you'll see what it looks like. So I've just set up a little diorama there. It's not very effective because I'm only using a small piece of grass board. But you get the general effect of it. I will take some photos just to show you and let you see what it looks like. But on the whole, I'm fairly happy with it, and you know, certainly for little photo shoots, it'll be ideal. And then, you know, set up on a battle table, it'll give that bit more realism to the backdrop. Right, I'll move on, take some photos for you and give you a better idea of what it looks like, and then we'll wind this one up. Sorry about the whittering, that's Bobby. You can hear another dog in the distance. Right, I'll bring you the photos. So on the whole, I'm pretty pleased with it. There are a few bubbles. I'd expect them to go down over time. But possibly on the whole, I think I'd probably been better going for the Bostik fast tack glue that I used to use. Or a photo mount would be better still. But yeah, they'll do the job. Anyway, I hope you found it interesting. If you have, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, please consider subscribing. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Bye.